You see, Democrats just blame Republicans for everything they are actually doing. Let's go down the list, shall we? It'll give us something to look at today. Weaponizing the justice system, first and foremost. Obviously, Democrats are already doing exactly that. They're trying to put a former president, and probably the next president too, if everything is fair in the election, in jail so he can't hold the office. And her second claim, that Donald Trump has celebrated insurrectionists as patriots. Well, the left, Kamala and Joe included, have done that too by celebrating the so-called Summer of Love, where American cities were burning down because of BLM rioters. Kamala even wanted Americans to donate to post bail for many of those criminals. How about her third point, that Trump applauds dictators? Well, he doesn't, but the left sure does. They love all of those socialist and communist dictators of past and present. They had nothing but nice things to say about Fidel Castro, for example, before he died. You also hear from many on the left that our government should be more like China's government. You heard that called time and again during the COVID pandemic. You heard it every single day. Not really trying to protect democracy with that one now, are they? The Chinese were welding houses shut and arresting people for not wearing masks, and the Democrats were applauding every step of the way. And now we face a constitutional crisis at the southern border, worst of my lifetime. Why? Well, because Democrats are acting like dictators and refusing to enforce the laws already on the books that say they must defend this country from an invasion, they must defend the border, and they're simply not doing it. Well, Texas didn't like that very much and decided to at least try to put a stop to the flow of millions of illegals coming into this country during Biden's presidency. And the Biden administration is saying they can't do that. And they're using the justice system and the courts to try to get their way. And even more shameful, the Democrats are blaming Republicans for all of it. Listen to this.
Well, I mean, you're essentially abdicating your duty. There is a problem at the border. We need to come together for a solution that brings more border security. The voters are demanding it. This surge is unlike anything I've seen here in Arizona, and I've been a member of Congress for 10 years. I voted for $92 billion of border security in the past, and still it is not helping. And the fact that this is being used as a political tool by U.S. Republican senators and other politicians. You know, I'm running against Carrie Lake, who claims to be the biggest Trump supporter in the world. Does she agree with Trump that we should not do this? We should fix the border so it helps him and her politically? I think that's a question that has to be asked about all Republicans. But this is dangerous territory we are in. We need to be treating this as a serious situation, not as a political opportunity. And it's shameful that Republicans are doing that just so they could get Donald Trump, of all people, back into office.
Well, we should certainly be treating it as a serious situation because they're not. But again, the Democrats always blame Republicans for exactly what they are doing. It's an old strategy that the left has relied on now for decades, if not centuries. But fewer people are buying into it day after day. Now, we all know that it's the Democrats who created this entire border mess in the first place. They politicized it while Donald Trump was president, saying it was racist to enforce our border laws. It was racist to do that, and no human being is illegal. And why is the border deal actually falling through? Well, Senator Ted Cruz explains it quite clearly right here. Listen.
The chances of this bill passing the House of Representatives, I can quantify it mathematically. The chances of this bill passing the House are 0.000%. It ain't going to pass. At lunch, we had a vigorous discussion at lunch yesterday. I asked leadership, why on earth would you be teeing up a vote with every Democrat and 10 or 12 Republicans that has no chance of passing the House? It's not going to become law. And I get it. Leadership really, really, really wants Ukraine funding. But that doesn't happen unless you get a bill that can pass the House. The only purpose of taking this up is giving Democrats political cover to say, gosh, we would have secured the border, but those pesky House Republicans didn't let us. It's a good talking point. It's complete baloney, but it's a good talking point. This bill represents Senate Republican leadership waging war on House Republican leadership.
Yeah, he's right, of course. The bill would do actually nothing at all to fix the border. It would just allow the Democrats to save face and hide behind it. It would also allow the government to pass more funding for Ukraine and its border. Remember, the official number of illegals coming in under Joe Biden is just over 8 million now. But the truth is this. The number could easily be twice as high. So the total number of illegal aliens that think Joe Biden is a prince, a great guy, their hero for letting them come in with no restrictions at all could be as high as 15 million or more. And that means the total today in America, there could be somewhere around 25 million people living here that have absolutely no legal right to be here at all. None. And every bit of it, my friends, is by design. There's no other explanation. This is how the Democrats think they can take over the country, never lose power again, and sadly, too many weak-willed, feckless weasels that call themselves Republicans are also too willing to go along with this national suicide pact, because that's what it is, national suicide. I mean, this really is the cultist idea that if America is flooded with millions of people, that Democrats can give amnesty to them, give them driver's licenses, and of course, then the right to vote almost automatically. So Democrats will be empowered to control you, fleece you, bully you, and frankly, strip you of all your rights, well, that you thought you had forever. However, Texas and Governor Abbott holding the line, refusing to give in to those demands of Joe Biden and the socialists, and now 25 states, 25 have pledged to take the back of Texas. That's 26 states and all standing up to secure the border, despite the 5-4 ruling from the United States Supreme Court. Governor Abbott isn't the only one standing up to this attempted power grab by the Democrats. Oklahoma's Governor Kevin Stitt is as well, and he actually had the courage to call out exactly what I just described the Democrats are trying to do. Many Republicans can't even do that. Here he is.
I've been on the border. I've talked to the border agents. Even the border agents themselves are scratching their head. But these are good Americans, and they're trying to obey their boss. But they don't agree with that policy either. And, of course, the National Guard soldiers, they're Texans, and they're Oklahomans, and they're Tennessee folks. And these are just Americans, and they don't like what's going on. So you would really be putting our soldiers in a tough situation to protect their states against fentanyl deaths and against illegal immigrants and terrorists in a lot of cases, just to appease some administration that has a political agenda. That's the only possible explanation, is they're wanting to nationalize and get a bunch of voters in that they think is going to swing elections. That's the only logical explanation, and it's absolutely illogical to think that we have leaders that are more focused on the next election instead of doing what's right for America.
He's right. That is the only logical explanation for all of this is happening. And as I told you yesterday, the Democrats know this is a losing issue for them politically. They know most Americans want a secure border, Democrats included. They know this will probably cost them the election in November, but they're refusing to fix it anyway.